Hey everybody, Sarah Lane here with TWiT for Before You Buy. I have been tasked with the very difficult job of reviewing the iPhone 5 for you all. I'm kidding, of course, because I'm kind of the iPhone person around here. We do a show about iPhones, i5. Leo and I talk about iOS on iPad Today each week, so it just kind of made sense that I would talk about the iPhone. But I want to try to give it as honest a review as possible because, of course, it's all about whether you should buy it or not and what you should know beforehand. First things first, this is LTE capable. This is a Verizon iPhone. Now, of course, I, living in San Francisco, have the option of going AT&T or Verizon. And Verizon LTE, although I've heard the same of AT&T, is really fast. So I noticed right off the bat that anything that requires internet is a lot faster, and in some cases, faster than the Wi-Fi that might be available in the same space. You've also got the longer iPhone itself. I call it the long phone because you've got another row on your home screen, and any other screen, of course, of apps to choose from. So this is the sort of thing that I have mixed feelings about so far. It seems okay. It doesn't make the phone too much bigger than my previous 4S, which I still love, by the way. But it does take some getting used to. It's almost like, there's a lot going on here. What do I put on my home screen? Because now it's a little bit more complicated. I think I'm going to get used to it. It is a little bit thinner. Not a ton thinner, but it's definitely thinner. And you really do feel the difference when you're holding it because it's also lighter. In fact, I've had people say, I think I need a case on this thing because it's like it's going to float away. It's so light. It's not really that much lighter, actually, when you actually look at the specs between the previous iPhones, 4 and the 4S being of pretty much the same weight, and the 5. There's not a huge difference, but because it's longer, because it's thinner, and because it's somewhat lighter, it really does feel like it's almost missing a battery in there or something, but it's not. By the way, what's cool about this is battery is almost always even an iPhone lover's biggest complaint. You start the day with a full charge. If you have a certain amount of brightness so that you're comfortable reading throughout the day and you use your phone fairly regularly, sometimes you don't get through the whole day. You might have to have a Mophie pack or something for additional battery. This phone, it's faster. It's actually got a faster internal computer, and the battery holds up. And in some cases, people say it's actually better than it was before. So you're actually getting the same quality with a better package. What else can we talk about? Headphone jack is on the bottom. I made a big deal about this when it came out, and everyone went, yeah, whatever. iPod Touch has been doing that for a while. It's not a big deal. People are used to it. I still think that's strange. When I put my phone in my purse, the headphone jack comes out the top, and that's sometimes how I find it, and I've got my earbuds and the whole thing. So that's going to take some getting used to, too. But part of the reason that this happened is now because the dock connector changed from a 30-pin connector to a 9-pin down on the bottom, which is still proprietary, and some people are kind of mad that it's not micro SIM, but this is the way that it is. Now Apple has quite a bit of room down on the bottom to add stuff like a headphone jack. So the top of the iPhone is nice and fluid. You got your little on-off button, and that's about it. One thing that people have started to complain about, and this is particularly with the black models, is this anodized covering. We've got a nice new covering on the back, which looks lovely right out of the box, and quickly gets a little scuffy looking. You know, it's not the same beautiful glass that the black and white iPhone 4S has had. This helps it be thinner and lighter, yes, definitely, but a little bit more fragile and more susceptible to nicks and scrapes. Now, if you don't have a case with your iPhone, whether it's an iPhone 5 or any iPhone, you know that you're always susceptible to nicks and scrapes, but it sounds like these guys are a little bit more fragile than their predecessors. Word on the street is that the white iPhones hold up a little bit better, but I'm hearing complaints across the board, so that's something to keep in mind. Pros with this, if you're an iPhone lover already, it's just the logical next step. This phone is amazing. It's beautiful, it's thinner, it's lighter, it does everything that you want it to do, plus it's running the best version of iOS 6 there is, so it really is an upgrade. Cons, it's expensive, it's definitely fragile and might be a little too fragile for you, and if you were looking for a reason to switch to iOS and didn't have one already, I'm not sure that iOS 6 and a larger iPhone is going to really sway you. It's not that much of a difference from the ecosystem that Apple already had. It's a nice upgrade, but it's not anything revolutionary or different. For me, I think it's clear, it's an absolute buy, but I'm a little biased, but that's okay. Buy it.